So, we meet again. Hi, everybody. We will get started in the usual 5 minutes at 2 o'clock East Coast time. In the meantime, I will welcome some of you to our little gathering, like Ian and Erica. Hi. Thanks for coming. To Katie, William. Hi. Glad you came here today. Oreo, Alana. Great to see you here. William, Darcy. Glad to see all of you coming in. Thanks for coming. We already have 60 of us here already. Amazing. And I'm so glad to see you, as I always am. Let's say hi to Jensen, Ryan, and Braden, and Michaela. The Haney family from Alabama, Genevieve and Josephine, Peter and Ben, Javen and Johan, Dolev, Patrick and Alex from Ohio. Hi, glad you could make it. The Crazy Coopers are here. Grant and Virginia, and Michaela, Nora, Eloise, Mackenzie, Henry, Michaela, another Michaela, Logan, Winona, and Belen and Sebastian. The Hillsborough Eyes, I'm not sure what that is. Mariana, Darcy, Leo is here. Thanks for coming. Bennett, Alex, Zach, Mara and Alyssa, Ellie, Illinois. My wife is walking home from the dentist. Teddy in Akron, Ohio. Hudson and Cooper from St. Louis. Lucas, Aylin, Solomon, Zachary, the Maslowski kids from Fresno. Liam and Amelia, Zachary and Shannon from New Jersey, Walker and Blake from Virginia, Lucy, Bryn, Holland in Northampton. The Champs are here, Ainsley and Declan, Clara and Lisa. All the regulars are here. Glad to see all of you. Daniel from Morristown, Gemma and Jet, and Braden and Chloe and Susie and Shmaya and the Rotzello. Billy's here, and Badra's here, and we'll get started in 3 minutes, you guys, 3 minutes. Sam and Gavin from Long Island, Amelia and Lydia from Westport, Connecticut, Noam and Eden, Dagash, Tyler, Braden, hi to all of you, Markwood, the Markwood crew, I'm sorry, Maddie, Julie, Josh, and Abby. Got to get you all in. Annabelle and Daisy. Eden from Kentucky. William, Abby, and Isabel. Dylan and Hannah. The Searle Squad. Fiona and Cormac. I'm so glad you could all make it. We'll get started in 2 minutes. Evelyn and Theo Madison. Althea, Shale, Laney, Ben. The Hagen crew from Park Ridge, Illinois. Hi, glad you could come. Tell your friends you still have 2 minutes to get anybody you know over here, your cousins in a different part of the country, whatever, we can do this. Edward and Henry, Malini, Sanjana, and Arya. I'm glad you like the game. Hello from Michigan, the Kendricks kids. Annie, Kevin, and Carolyn, and Daniel. So glad you're all here. We have 2 minutes to go. Who else is here? We got 273 of us. We got to make it to 300. Let's make it to 400. Dina or Dinah. Kira from Starkville, Mississippi. Is that Mississippi or Missouri? Not sure. Jay and Maya. And we have 1 minute, less than 1 minute to go. So I'll take a sip. Like my mug. Okay. I'm ready. You guys ready? Let's do this thing. Okay? Let's have some fun. That's what it's all about, right? Can't work too hard. Hi, Jack and John. Hi, Evan. Hi, Abigail. Hi, Zach from Dayton. Hi, Joshua and Sophia. Chase and Ava. It's go time, baby. Hi, my name is Dan Gutman. I am the author of the My Weird School series. and lots of other books for kids too. And let's start with our question of the day, which comes from Evan in Pennsylvania. And Evan said, have you ever considered illustrating your own books? The answer is a definite big no on that, Evan. I cannot draw. Jim is amazing. You've seen his illustrations inside and outside the books. He's incredible. I could never draw like that. I can't draw at all. I have taken some photographs that have appeared in my books because photography is a big hobby of mine. But no, I do not draw. I leave that to the professionals. Okay, so let's get to our book of the week, which is Mr. Nick is a Lunatic. And as you know, if you were here yesterday, the teachers at elementary school are on strike. They're very upset because the coffee machine in the teachers' lounge broke, and Dr. Carbles of the Board of Education will not get them a new one. He's very angry. And he showed up in a tank because they had a big picket line out in front of the school, and he turned the water hoses. He's got the water hoses. He's released the dogs, and that's where we ended with chapter 2. Today we're going to start with chapter 3, which is titled Our New Principal. You guys ready? Do it. Big screen TV, laptop, tablet, smartphone. Let's do it. All right. A bunch of firefighters jumped off the fire truck with hoses, and they started spraying water at Mr. Klutz and our teachers. The teachers were yelling and screaming and shrieking and hooting and hollering and freaking out. Then a bunch of dogs jumped out of the police cars and started barking and chasing the teachers down the street. Here's Jim's picture of the teachers and Mr. Klutz being hosed down by the fire department. Did you ever see that movie Ratatouille? This was like that scene when the people come in the kitchen and the rats scatter in all directions. You should have been there. It was hilarious. And we got to see it with our own eyes. Well, it's pretty hard to see stuff with somebody else's eyes. Ooh, I don't like to see this, said Andrea, shaking her head. I don't like violence. What do you have against violins? I asked. Not violins, Arlo. Violence. I knew that. I was just yanking Andrea's chain. In a few minutes, Mr. Klutz and the teachers were gone. The firefighters packed up their hoses. The policemen rounded up the dogs and left. That will teach them to rebel against me, Dr. Carbles said. My work is done here. Then he closed the hatch and drove the tank away. Dr. Carbles is losing his marbles. Well, that was weird, I said. What are we supposed to do now? Asked Alexia. Should we just go home? All the teachers were gone. There was no point in shaking our butts at the class because we already did that. There was nothing to prevent us from leaving school. No more school. And it wasn't even a snow day. This was the greatest moment of my life. No more school, I chanted. No more school. No more school. I figured everybody was going to start chanting no more school with me. I looked around. Nobody else was chanting. Everybody was just looking at me. I hate when that happens. That's when the weirdest thing in the history of the world happened. A yellow bus pulled up outside the school. Well, that's not the weird part because yellow buses pull up outside our school all the time. The weird part was what happened next. A bunch of grown-ups got out of the yellow bus. The first one was a tall guy with really long hair. He had a bullhorn, just like the one Dr. Carbles was carrying. I guess grown-ups really like talking into bullhorns. Yo! The tall guy hollered up at us. To all you students looking out the windows, my name is Mr. Nick. I will be the replacement principal while Mr. Klutz and your teachers are on strike. Everybody, please report to the all-purpose room. The porpoise room? Here's Jim's picture of Mr. Nick shouting into the bullhorn. It's kind of a hippie. Okay. Don't you mean the all-purpose room? Somebody shouted. Oh, yeah, Mr. Nick hollered. Please report to the all-purpose room. That was weird. There's no such thing as an all-porpoise room. How would we be able to use the room if it was filled with porpoises? And why would porpoises come to school in the first place? Don't they need to live in water? Who would feed them? I've heard of schools of fish, but this is ridiculous. There was no time to worry about porpoises. We walked 1,100,000 miles to the other side of the school. Even though we didn't have a teacher, we went in single file anyway. Neil was the line leader. Alexia was the door holder. When we got to the all-purpose room, Mr. Nick and a bunch of other people were up on the stage. After all the kids were seated, he made a peace sign with his fingers. In our school, a peace sign means, shut up. Everybody stopped talking. Hey, how come you all stopped talking? Asked Mr. Nick. You made the shut up peace sign, I yelled. No, that was a real peace sign, Mr. Nick said, holding up his fingers again. I just wanted to say, peace, man. Everybody chill. If we could just have more peace in the world, we wouldn't have so many problems like this. The world would be a better place. Can you dig where I'm coming from? I can dig, but I had no idea where he was coming from. So I didn't know where he wanted us to dig. Mr. Nick talked funny. When will our regular teachers be coming back? Somebody shouted from the back of the room. My staff and I will be here at least a week, Mr. Nick said, or until the strike is over. Any other questions? And here's a picture of Mr. Nick and some of his the new staff up on the stage. He's got a peace sign on his tie. Little Miss Perfect was waving her hand in the air like she was trying to hail a taxi. So, of course, Mr. Nick called on her. You're a grown-up, Andrea said. Don't you need to drink coffee in the morning like our regular teachers do? No, man, Mr. Nick replied. That stuff will mess with your body. I drink in the sunshine, baby. That's my caffeine. Mr. Klutz and your old teachers need to mellow out, man. They drink too much coffee. That's why they're so uptight all the time. Huh. I always wondered why all the teachers at our school were so weird. Now I knew the truth. It was all that coffee they drank every morning. From now on, we're going to do things differently at elementary school, said Mr. Nick. If you want to learn stuff, that's cool. And if you don't want to learn stuff, that's cool too. We go with the flow, man. If you want to stare out the window and just groove on the vibes, that's cool. Different strokes for different folks. No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers' dirty looks, right? No more rules. That's my attitude, man. Wow, Mr. Nick sounded like a cool guy. Andrea had on her mean face, and I knew why. She loves pencils and books and teachers and rules and learning stuff. I think rules are a good thing, she said. If people don't follow the rules, you end up with chaos. I didn't know what chaos was, but it didn't sound like a good thing. Well, I do have one rule, announced Mr. Nick. You all have to go back to your classrooms now and meet your new teachers. All right, that's chapter 3. You guys ready for chapter 4? The L word. I think some of you know what that is. Here we go. We walked 1,100,000 miles back to our classroom. Everybody was excited to see who our new teacher would be. I hope she's nice, said Emily, who always hopes everybody will be nice. She might not be a she, said Andrea. Maybe she will be a he. Mr. Cooper's a he. Our old teacher, Mr. Granite, was a he. I think Mr. Granite is still a he, said Ryan. As it turned out, our new teacher was a she, but she didn't look much like a teacher. She looked really young. She had flowers in her hair and a tie-dyed shirt. And here's a picture of the new teacher standing at the front of the classroom. She wrote this on the whiteboard. Huh? What kind of a name is Moonbeam Starlight? You can call me Miss Moon, she told us as we took our seats. I'm Mr. Nick's girlfriend. Are you a teacher too? Asked Alexia. Aren't we all teachers? Miss Moon replied with a smile. Where do you live? Asked Neil. Mr. Nick and I live in a yurt, said Miss Moon. Does anybody know what a yurt is? I raised my hand. Miss Moon called on me. A yurt is yogurt without the OG in it, I said. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't say anything funny. Andrea was waving her hand in the air like she was cleaning a big window. Miss Moon called on her. A yurt is a big round tent, Andrea said. That's right, Andrea. Andrea smiled, the smile she smiles to let everybody know she knows something nobody else knows. She probably looked up yurt on her smartphone. What is her problem? Why can't a truck full of yurts fall on her head? Mr. Nick and I live off the grid, and we grow wildflowers, said Miss Moon. We're planning to open up a vegetarian bookstore. How is a vegetarian bookstore different from a regular bookstore? Michael asked. Our books will have no meat in them, said Miss Moon. That was weird. I never heard of a book with meat in it. Why would anybody put meat in a book? Well, maybe if it was a book about meat. Miss Moon closed her eyes and began dancing around the class. Are you going to teach us reading today? Asked Andrea. No, said Miss Moon. What's the point of teaching you reading? You already know how to read, don't you? Well, yes, replied Andrea. Are you going to teach us writing? No, said Miss Moon. You already know how to write, don't you? I guess so, replied Andrea. So, are you going to teach us math? No, said Miss Moon. You already know how to do math, don't you? Yes, replied Andrea. Then what are you going to teach us? Miss Moon went to the cloakroom and took out a guitar. I'm going to teach you how to love, she said. What? Ugh, disgusting. She said the L word. I thought I was going to throw up. Miss Moon strummed her guitar. And here's a picture of Miss Moon with her guitar. Let's sing a love song, she said. I think you'll pick up the words very quickly. And then she began to sing this really weird song. It went like this. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Here's in case you missed some of the lyrics, here they are. Okay. Miss Moon's dumb song was nothing but the L word over and over again. I thought I was going to die. It was also the most boring song in the history of the world. What a snooze fest. I never thought I would ever say this, but I was wishing we could learn reading, writing, or math instead of listening to Miss Moon sing. Finally, Miss Moon finished her awful song and put down the guitar. Everybody clapped, because that's what you're supposed to do when somebody finishes singing a song, no matter how horrible it is. Miss Moon picked up some papers and put a sheet on everybody's desk. "Okay," she said. "Now that we're all in a loving mood, I'd like you to write something that you love about the person sitting to your left." I looked to my left, and you'll never believe in 1,100,000 years who was sitting there. It was Andrea! She looked at me. She had a big smile on her face. I turned around. Ryan and Michael were elbowing each other and pointing at me. They had big smiles on their faces, too. Oh, no! I had to write something I love about Andrea. This was the worst day in the history of the world. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. So, this is what I wrote. I figured Miss Moon was going to collect all the papers and then take them back to her yurt to read, but no such luck. "Okay," she said, "now we're going to read what we wrote out loud in front of the class. Who wants to go first?" "AJ wants to go first," shouted Michael. "AJ wants to go first," shouted Ryan. "AJ wants to go first," shouted Neil. In case you were wondering, all the guys were shouting that I wanted to go first. "How about you go first, AJ?" said Miss Moon. Bummer in the summer. I thought I was going to die. This was the worst thing to happen since TV turn-off week. I wanted to go run away to Antarctica and live with the penguins. I stood up. Ryan and Michael were covering their mouths and giggling. "I love it when Andrea is absent," I muttered under my breath. "I'm sorry," said Miss Moon. "Can you speak a little louder, AJ?" "I love it when Andrea is absent," I said, a little louder. Here's a picture of AJ saying what he wrote, and Andrea is looking at him. Oops. "That's mean, Arlo," said Andrea. "Ooh," Ryan said. "AJ loves something about Andrea." "When are you going to get married?" asked Michael. If those guys weren't my best friends, I would hate them. All right, that is chapter 4. Tomorrow we're going to read chapter 5, which is called Art is Like Pulling Teeth. But first, how about a joke of the day? Guys ready? Okay, our joke of the day today comes from Cameron, who lives in North Andover, Massachusetts. And Cameron's joke is, what kind of tree fits in your hand? What kind of tree fits in your hand? A palm tree. Get it? All right, get off the couch. Stop staring at screens. You know what time it is. It's time for Josh Salzman and Ryan Cunningham to play us out of here with our theme song. Okay, let's do it.
My weird school, I'm AJ and my school's a mess. My weird school, before a school is fine, I guess. My weird school, where art is cool, and the teachers are strange as a rule. Where Mrs. Youngers is bonkers, and Mrs. Daisy is crazy, Mrs. Cooney is loony, and Miss Lady is zany. And then there's her principal, his name's Mr. Klutz, and man, oh man, is that man nuts. My weird school, 1,100,000 hours long. My weird school, where normal things do not belong. My weird school, where art is cool, and the teachers are strange as a rule. And my weird school, my weird school, oh yeah, it's my weird school.
See you guys tomorrow. Same time, same place. Read like crazy. Wash your hands like crazy. See you then.